think insanity is a good word for what's happening here on the House floor today. Another good word is bizarre. You know, when I go home and I tell my constituents what happens in these halls, they're amazed. And today is one of those days where I'm like, what the hell are these folks doing? Because while our economy is in crisis, while groceries and housing are at an all-time high, while our veterans and our firefighters and our teachers are being illegally fired, while Elon Musk is dismantling the U.S. Department of Education, and while the Secretary of Defense is trying to cover up the most incompetent national security leak I have ever heard of in my life, the Republicans in the House are trying to save the American people from the scourge of walk-in cooler and refrigeration efficiency standards. That's right. We are here wasting precious debate time on the U.S. House of Representatives floor debating, dismantling efficiency standards for walk-in refrigerators. How out of touch are you with the American people? Like, literally, I know you're not holding town halls and meeting with your constituents anymore, but you think that the American people voted for you to waste our time on refrigeration standards? That's what you think you were elected to do? Literally, how out of touch are you? Because no American voted. No American, I don't care where you are on the ideological spectrum, you did not vote for this. This is ridiculous, it's preposterous, and it's just stupid. Yesterday, it was reported that the Secretary of Defense and National Security Advisor and the Vice President leaked war plans to a journalist. This is the same administration that accidentally fired nuclear scientists and engineers who maintain our nuclear stockpile. This is the same administration that is illegally firing federal employees and dismantling federal agencies. And you're here running a resolution on refrigerators. And meanwhile, tomorrow, you all are going to hold a hearing and haul NPR and PBS in front of Congress to try to undermine the media, just like you did just here on this floor a few moments ago, as you're kicking the media out of the Pentagon and the White House because you don't believe in the media anymore. Well, maybe this is exactly what the end conclusion of dismantling education and American democracy is, because this is ridiculous, and we will vote no. I yield back.
Gentlelady yields back. Gentleman from Colorado reserves. Gentlelady from North Carolina is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I would characterize what we're doing here today as the people's business. We are the people's house. We are here to look after the American people in the best way that we can. We are fulfilling our constitutional duties. Unnamed, unaccountable bureaucrats pass rules and regulations in this city every day that they should not be passing. Congress gave ourselves the ability to stop those. And my colleagues are complaining that we're wasting time, that it's slow and inefficient to implement the Congressional Review Act. And it is slow and inefficient. But we passed a bill called the Midnight Rules Relief Act primarily with Republican votes. That would have allowed Congress to dispense with multiple rules and regulations under one bill. That bill is currently in the Senate. And if that would pass and be signed by the President, we could all save time and be much more efficient. But we are doing the people's work today. I reserve.
Gentlelady reserved. Gentleman from Colorado is recognized.
I thank the Speaker. I would simply echo the sentiments that have been expressed by so many of my colleagues that the policies Republicans are pursuing here on the House floor are not the priorities of the American people. And I think we all would be far better served if we debated the actual issues of the day, the challenges that Representative Stansbury and so many others described so eloquently. I also would just say this, because there's been a lot of discussion about town halls. And I don't quite understand, and perhaps the gentlewoman would be willing to expound upon this, her opposition and the opposition of so many of my colleagues in the Republican conference to doing town halls. I've held 100 town halls over the course of the time that I've had the privilege of representing Colorado in the United States Congress. And we've held them everywhere in my district. I represent communities and counties that voted for Donald Trump. And I've held town halls and will continue to hold town halls in those communities because my obligation is to represent every person in western Colorado and in northern Colorado in the district that I serve. That's my job, to be accessible to my constituents, irrespective of their political beliefs. I understand that Republicans right now are scared to host town halls because they know that the policies that they are pursuing in Washington are deeply unpopular. If I spent my week in Washington pushing bills on commercial freezers, I would probably be a little nervous to do a town hall back in my district too. I get it. So I understand where they're coming from. But maybe the way forward is to spend our time in Washington working on matters of substance. And if we do that, I can promise you, your town halls will go just fine. They'll go just fine.